We're past the era of men making assumptions that women need help. Because again, that could be considered disrespectful and misogynistic. And so men aren't going out of the way to just lend a helping hand to women because they don't want to be seen as misogynistic.
Why do men have a hard time helping women? Men will stand there. The women will have all the bags, the kids, the suitcases, the luggage. Well, she'll be doing everything, and he's just standing there.
24 hours later.
I believe that the strength of a woman is also what makes men respect us even more. We are not necessarily damsels in distress here. Damsels in distress here. We can open doors for ourselves. We can do things for ourselves. But it's okay for a woman to be strong. It's okay for a woman to be independent. Woman to be strong. It's okay for a woman to be independent.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Why do men have a hard time helping women?
Well, there was a Twitter storm yesterday where a woman tweeted about some guy trying to help her with her luggage, getting it out of the compartment in the plane. And she regarded him as an oppressor.
Misogyny.
Big time.
So, and guys are getting their heads bitten off or certainly getting an earful just for helping. It's confusing for guys. So the urge to be nice is there.
And it's too confusing, so just don't bother.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
There's nothing in it for us, plus we ain't anybody's servants anymore.
Happy Thursday, hot ass Thursday, y'all. I just want to make a quick post. It's 104 degrees outside, right? My car is running hot. I'm at 7-Eleven. I got one of my kids in the car. The others, she knocked out. The others are at home in the cool AC. I just want to make a point though real quick. I just want to show everybody how it's unfortunate that men don't help women anymore in their time of need. You can be a damsel in distress. You can be a pretty ass woman. You can have on booty shorts. You can have whatever. Just a woman in general. Don't get help from men anymore. Not that I need it, because thankful to my father, my stepfather, he's taught me everything that I need to know pretty much about the basics of cars and maintenance. And I know I gotta wait for my car to cool down before I can even open it up and put water or antifreeze in it. But I just want to show y'all. I done watched, I think 4 to 5 different men walk past 6 even, and didn't even offer a hand and help. Like, hey, little mommy, you got that? Or you know what you're doing? Just nothing, y'all. Just it's crazy. Check it out though. Watch this. Hold on. Wait, and another thing, I'm not even gonna ask them for the assistance, right? I just want to see who all will just kindly, with the greatness of their hearts, volunteer. It's gonna be none. That's crazy. That's so sad. That's why I'm gonna teach my son to be polite and be a gentleman, even though I know in this day and time it's hard because you don't know who you can trust these days. It could be a trick, but everybody's not out to scam and get over on people. It's just what I'm saying. There's one right there on his way back over to his work truck. Where the work truck at? Right there, boom. Looking, but didn't offer nothing. Oh, there's a group of, that's a father of 3. Here's one right here too. Work truck. 2 guys that just hopped out of it. Look at this big masculine man right here, cleaning windshields and shit. And another one. And another one. Watch me work. Black girl magic, one woman, one course. Tie yourself to the neck. Don't need who? Don't need a man, period. So always get it done. And that's facts. Just wanted to prove something to y'all real quick though. Laters.
Women keep confusing chivalry with acts of kindness. Chivalry was used by men when they were courting a woman.
Some Korean men are refusing to help women. A few days ago, a woman in her 20s lost consciousness and fainted when she was on the subway. Apparently, there were a bunch of men in their 20s and 30s who refused to help, and saying something to the extent of, "It has nothing to do with me," which got the women on the internet pissed. According to the Korean woman, the reason being, all able-bodied Korean men have to serve military service. They do learn CPR in the military. So it was expected for men in their 20s and 30s who likely just got out of the military to jump in and help because they know how to do CPR. But a lot of the men on the train didn't. And their reason being, they did not want to be accused of sexual harassment. There were a few incidents where men were actually accused for sexual harassment, for trying to help the women. Back in 2014, a South Korean woman had actually tried to sue a male EMT paramedic for doing CPR and doing chest compressions on her. Although the paramedic wasn't charged or convicted with anything, since he was reported, he still had to go through an investigation. There was also another story shared of a Korean guy going up the steps in the subway station, and there was a woman in front of him seemingly about to fall. He put out his hands and tried to grab her from the back to prevent her from falling. The girl freaked out and called the police on him, and he ended up in the police station. That being said, these are all the men's side of the story. They'd rather be a bystander than getting their names tainted with SA. This all seems a little crazy to me. I mean, I get it if you don't want to touch the person because you don't know what's going on. At least call for help. What do you think?
Easy, just call the bear since all men are dangerous.
Common sentiment I have been seeing is that if there were a group of women right there, they would have jumped in.
This isn't just a common sentiment, this is a statistical fact. In the comments section of people discussing the brick incident, you see women saying over and over again, "A man has never protected me, but a woman has." And this falls right in line with what we know about the bystander effect. It is a statistical fact that proximity to a man puts you in more danger. And it is women who are more likely to come to your rescue. Men are more likely to be the bystander. This 2020 study found that despite ideas of chivalry, women are far more likely to help you than men. This 2015 study found the same thing. Men are less likely to help you. This 2014 study, men reported more intent to act as a bystander. And as recently as 2022, a meta-analysis of 85 studies found that women were more likely to intervene. And in every single one of these studies, the men had one thing in common that made them less likely to help. In every single study, men had a much higher acceptance of grape myths. They aren't intervening because they believe you deserve it. They believe you've done something, said something, worn something that makes you deserve this behavior. I'm going to say this for you again, clearly. The research shows men don't help women because they believe we deserve it.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of their own actions.
You know something I thought about? There are not a lot of men on this earth. Let me take that back. There are not a lot of men in this generation that serve women. And I emphasize on the serve because I've dated so many men and also have spoke to a lot of men that are very much not into serving women. It's always, well, what do you bring to the table? Well, what do you have for me? Well, I got you this the other day, now you owe me. It's always that. And it's very sad because only a small percentage of men were raised properly where a woman does what she does, a man does what he does, and y'all come together as a team, as a partnership. There's roles for each side. And trust me, a man is going to do what he needs to do as long as you do what you got to do. That's it. That's all. But it's the fact that men still seek women to do this for me, pay for this. Oh, you forgot about this. Open your own door. Like, just crazy stuff. And that's not how I was raised.
You have to bring value to be valued. That's it. That's all.
Do you know what I actually can't believe? Yesterday I was on the tube coming home and a drunk man got on the tube and he sat next to me originally and was chatting to some other people that had a dog. Oh my god, the bags under my eyes. And then they got off the tube and he was like looking at me and I was just ignoring him. I was just doing my own little thing. Then he moved and sat opposite me on the tube and then he was going, hello, hello. And I just looked at him and was like, I was like on my phone, but I like looked at him and he was like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And he was like, where are you from? You from Italy? And I was like, no. He was like, you from here? And I was like, no, because it was like London. And I was like, no, somewhere else. He was like, oh, you're on holiday? I was like, no, just travelling. I was trying to be like just short and like get him to stop speaking to me. And then he was going like, oh, well, he had a beer in his hand and he kept spilling his beer everywhere. And I was just trying to ignore him. And he was like, are you married? And I was like, yeah, I'm married. Obviously not, but I was like, yeah, I'm married. He was like, oh, have you got children? I was like, no. He was like, oh, so you're single then? I was like, no, I'm married. And then he was like, how old are you? And I was like, oh, I'm 20. I was like, if I knock a few years off, maybe he'll leave me alone. As if that would make a difference. And he was like, oh, young. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. Then he just kept like mumbling like Italian words because he thought I was Italian. And I was just like, on my phone, like, and he just would not stop. He was just like, he was like going, high five me, shake my hand, all this. And then he was like, oh, bye-bye, I'm getting off now. Then he stood up and he was just still looking at me, like just standing there. And then he didn't get off. He sat back down and he was like, oh, not getting off yet, actually. And I was like, oh, okay. While this is going on, there's a bunch of men around me that were English because they were speaking English like a minute ago before he got on. And they were all just ignoring it. They were all just like leaving him to just literally harass me. And then notice like the last stop of the train is where I was getting off. And that's obviously where he was getting off because it was the last stop. So he was like, oh, okay, I'm getting off now. Obviously, I hadn't realised it was the last stop. So I said, oh, bye. And I let him get off and I stayed on the tube for a bit just so that he could walk ahead. And like, again, no one said anything to me apart from one girl took her headphones out and she went, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just like letting him walk ahead for a bit so like he doesn't speak to me anymore. And she was like, oh, I couldn't tell if he was bothering you or not. Like, I appreciate that the girl actually asked me if I was all right and everything, but like the men didn't do anything. Like, chivalry is dead, but also you couldn't tell he was bothering me. He was quite clearly bothering me. And then as we got off, she was like, I'll walk with you for a bit, but like I'm not leaving the station, I'm getting on another train, so I can't come outside with you. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Like, and then as we were walking, the guy had stopped and he like turned around and he saw me and he was like, oh, you, Italy. And I was just ignoring him and he was like, oi, are you ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me? And I was just like, I'm just going to keep ignoring him, just walking. He was going, oi. And then I was like, right, keys are in my hand right now. I had to walk to my car, and bear in mind, I had to get off at Ealing Broadway, which is like a scatty station, scatty area. So the route to my car was like literally a 2-minute walk. But because he was behind me, I didn't want him to follow me. So I actually went like a different route and started walking with a group of people so that I wasn't on my own. Because the route to my car, I would have been walking on my own and it was dark. And then he wandered off somewhere else and I like literally like, not sprinted, but like speed walked to my car. But yeah, I was texting my mum as well at the time and I was like, why is nobody like helping me? They can quite clearly see that this man is bothering me. Why has no man stepped in to help? It really bothered me.
Do you expect men to risk their life to save a stranger?
Sitting up here struggling to get this in my car. Men are walking back and forth. No one is trying to help me. They don't make real men anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not all men, because there are good men out there. As a woman, like, you don't see men holding doors anymore. They don't help anymore. They rush and sit down on trains and buses before women and pregnant women and elderly are sitting down. It's just a hot.
You could always ask a bear to help. You know, I've talked to thousands of men around the world. And it's not that they're afraid, it's that they're done, man. You know, you get called a creep for talking to someone, opening the door for someone, it's called a misogyny now. It's a very cold game you're playing. And you know, men are just fed up, man. Men are done with it. As most men will tell me, the juice is not worth the squeeze anymore. You get called a fucking creep for doing just about anything. Why don't you ask for the dude for help? Men are not gonna be what they used to be because that died a long time ago when feminism started, man. It's a cold world out here. That's exactly what the reason is.
You are a strong woman. You got this, champ.
I could see now why men pull away emotionally, because it just happened to me today, and I got to see from a man's point of view what it's like to date a woman sometimes. This is no shade towards women in any way, because I'm a woman. I completely understand, and I'm sure I do this as well. But it was funny because I came home, me and my sister lived together, and as soon as I get in the house, she just starts bitching at me about things that she wished I was doing, like cleaning the cat's litter box, setting up certain appointments, whatever it was around the house. And then all of a sudden I was thinking, like, no wonder I always just go to my room. Like, I don't want to be around you when as soon as they come into the door, you're just kind of nagging. Like, I get that you're doing it, like, she's trying to do it in a jokey way, like, oh, are you gonna clean today? Oh, are you gonna do this today? And I'm just like, fuck off. I love my sister, but that nagginess, and I understand. What I was realizing is women do this all the time. We emotionally need to regulate. Like, there are certain times that you say, okay, if I want to actually get my partner to do something for me, because all that did is made me want to pull away and be like, fuck you, I'm not going to do it. And I can understand why men never do what you want them to do. You're like, I've told you a million times to do this, I've told you to do this, and you're like, why can't I get him to do things? Because you're not saying it in the best fucking way. Set apart time where you're like, hey, this night at this time, can I talk to you? Let's just like talk about our relationship and things going on. Like, we'll set time for it. Then he can mentally prepare and be in that mode. But when he's just coming home from work, or he's just coming home from something and he's not in the mood for that, and you're just coming at him nagging, I understand. I was like, I get it. I wouldn't want to talk to me either. I'd be like, fuck off. Like, if guys did that to us, we'd be like, go the fuck away. Like, ew, you're annoying. But when we do it, we're like, it should be fine. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, get over it. But yeah, just figuring out times to say what you want, say your needs to them, setting time apart for that is so important. You can't just nag whenever you feel like it, because if they're not in the right headspace or whatever, they're just not going to hear you the way you want, and you're just like hurting your relationship over time. Over time, they're going to pull away from you, because they're like, even me, I noticed I just wanted to go to my room. I was like, I don't even want to talk to her when I come in the house. I just go straight to my room, because I'm like, I'm trying to avoid her now. And that's horrible. I'm avoiding her instead of just dealing with it and being like, hey, can you not talk to me when I get home right away about things that you want me to change? And like, that's what you would wish a man would say, but they don't. So you just tell him, hey, let's set us part time where we can talk about things, just us. So then you don't have a relationship where you guys get so annoyed and triggered by each other. It's so important, and it just keeps the love alive.
Fellas, it never makes sense to them until it happens to them personally.
Yo, what is up with men? And I know this is always a topic.
And what specific topic is this video going to be about?
Here, but I'm generally speaking about why do men have a hard time helping women?
They don't have a hard time helping women, but they've been told to leave women alone.
Something that I have observed not only in my personal life, but literally in the outside world, because I'm a watcher. Men will stand there. The women will have all the bags, the kids, the suitcases, the luggage. She'll be doing everything, and he's just standing there.
I wonder, did she ask for help?
They'll just be standing there, like just watching the woman suffer as if it brings them some kind of pleasure. From my perspective, it looks like that, because I'll just be looking, and I'm just like, anybody would help that woman right now. Why are you just standing there? Y'all are the men.
I guess some women do need men after all, if for nothing more than to carry heavy objects. But I guess one didn't take into consideration that a lot of men stopped helping women because whenever they do, many times they're often told that they're not doing it right, they're doing it wrong, and the woman will just redo it anyway after making the man feel about 1 inch tall. Gee, I can't imagine why more men wouldn't want to help out.
They think we owe them. We owe them nothing.
I just had to drag my AC out of my car to my apartment building. 3 guys passed me. None of them offered to help. None. 0 out of 3. Why? Because you couldn't lift it? You were too scared to lift it? Is that why? Am I intimidating? Am I more masculine than you?
Just immediately goes to shaming. That's hilarious. It's like when these women don't get their way with men in general, whether it's in relationships or they don't help them move their air conditioner, the only logical explanation for these women is that they just must be intimidated. It's like their go-to response. Man doesn't want to date me? Oh, he's intimidated. Man doesn't want to help me move my air conditioner? He's intimidated. The arrogance and entitlement. Crazy.
What?
She's lifting. I thought she was naked, by the way. It's apparently does the color of her leggings. It is what it is. Oh. Girlfriend got stuck.
Bail out. Just bail.
She got stuck. She didn't want to throw it. So now she's trying to get guys to come over and help her to lift that thing off her back. Right now this goes on. Look, excuse me.
Just
She's
bail.
just sitting there. Just throw
bail
it
out.
right now.
Just throw it.
She was afraid to do that. And I'm not going to lie, I might be afraid to do it too because a lot of weight. And I'd be like, shit, is this thing going to hit me in the behind? What's going to go on? She stays there. She stays there. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Well, yeah, you can't stay there all day, girlfriend. Stays there. It's too much, right? You know this?
Does anyone actually help her?
Oh, yeah. You know who helps her? A female.
A
female
but she
comes
pissed
over.
about it,
Yeah, so a girl, ultimately what happens is, if you scroll through, I don't know, Della, if you want to scroll through, but ultimately what happens is a girl comes over.
She's sitting there for like a minute.
Lifts it off her back. She's like, hey. Now, granted, guys have earbuds, but you will see that the girl comes over and helps her. First of all, girlfriend, why are you lifting all that weight? That's too much weight for you. You need to know your limits. That's number one. But here's the thing that struck me is this, because we've been seeing all these images of girls in the gym where, you know, half naked, booty out, and then a guy like has the nerve to look her way. And it's like, oh my God, he makes me feel so unsafe, all that stuff. But now you have a dynamic where this instance, you have women in the gym, and I guarantee you there are guys that saw what was going on and were like, I'm staying out of this. I don't want to be in some video. I'm not getting involved.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
the tripod with the phone recording.
I don't want to be accused of what I'm doing, that I'm approaching her, all that. And this is what I say about like feminism wrecking men, because your natural instinct as a man would just be like, let me go over and help this woman.
Yeah.
Right? Normal. Like back in my dad's day, you wouldn't even think about that. He would have gone over. He would have been like, oh, you got to be careful, honey. Don't lift stuff that's so heavy. Let me help you out. You got to be afraid to do everything now. And I think that's why when people say the death of gentlemen and all this, women complain. I saw a video of a very prominent female figure being like, oh, all the good men are gone. All the good men. It's like, well, you killed them. You killed whatever was inside of them that would have made them actually act like men. Guys are afraid to be men.
Yeah. Feminism has disincentivized men from being gentlemen.
Completely.
It's all backwards.
It's all backwards. Can we fix it?
Yes. Yes, you totally can fix it.
How do you fix it, though? Even if you fix...
As a male, you can't even go and ask another female to help out the struggling female without being accused of being a predator or creep.
Nobody's helping me. Nobody's helping me. All these men for what? What do you want us to do?
What a lot of women do not want to admit is that this would be exactly them when they get into a situation like this. Because so many women have been fed the message that they have to be strong, that they have to be an independent woman, that is really where their value lies today. But when push comes to shove and they get into a situation like this, they're looking for a man to help them. I don't think there's anything weak about that. I think that's just knowing your strengths and knowing somebody else's strengths. The problem is when you're living in a very peaceful, calm state and you're not falling into situations like this, it's unfortunately a little easy to forget the value in somebody else. The problem is when so many women villainize men as a whole and they say that they'd rather pick the bear than be with a man. You don't realize that in the next instant, if they were out of their peaceful, calm state and they were in a situation like this, they would be looking to a man. And what do you think men feel about that? Because they know this. And do you hear the man in the background saying, how can I help you? Like he is willing to actually still help. And that is the majority of men. That's what a lot of women don't realize, is that even though you bash them and you push them down, they are still coming up to the plate. And that should be admired.
All these men for what? This phrase says a lot about her princess mentality. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal, link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.